Hey paper crafters, thank you so much for joining me today. I love that you took the time to pop by my channel, check out the video that I've got going, and hopefully stay and poke around a little bit. I'm really excited to be able to offer some videos now and then and share my love of paper crafting. So I hope you find something that you enjoy and come back to see me another time. Bye-bye. Hey paper crafting friends, thanks for joining me today. I am going to be working with this Bloom de Fleur Parklane stack, and I already had produced a video that shows how I broke this paper stack up into sets. So I'm going to be using one of those sets that I created in that video. I will link that in if that's something that you're interested in seeing. So here's the palette that I'm going to be working with. So these are all papers from that stack. Okay, and if we look at the back side, because I may use some of that, there's a couple of smaller floral prints and then some pink kind of patterned paper. And for my background sheets, I pulled a couple of sheets of, I think this is Ballerina from Close to My Heart. I'm pretty sure. And I just think that'll be a nice soft background. I did use the lightest shade that was available here, just because I thought that's going to be really pretty playing together. There are a couple of sheets that I pulled from this stack that have sentiment cards. I'm not sure that I'm going to use any of these. We'll see. Right now I don't have a solid plan for these, so we'll just kind of have to see if it works its way into my design or not. So I'm going to go ahead and get laying a design out on this beautiful paper, and I'll pop back on and show you what I've got. All right, so I was able to lay out a design that I'm really happy with, that I think will really show off these beautiful papers and just create a fun, springy layout that'll have some beautiful florals, something you could use for a wedding, Mother's Day, a new baby girl, a baby shower, Valentine's Day, an anniversary, so many choices, okay? So what I've done, I really decided I wanted to feature our springtime set today. And I know that when you are building your collection of templates, it can feel a little overwhelming when someone like me does a video with 4 or 5 different template sets. So for my accessories, I really just focused in on springtime today. So this big flower here is springtime 6, this is springtime 5, and they layer really nicely together. The butterfly is springtime 3. There's a little birdie, it's springtime 2. I am going to turn it, well, I'm not sure, actually, now that I look at it. So you got springtime 2. There's this sweet little banner that's springtime 1. So I think the only template that I did not work into this design is springtime 4. And it's a really cool one, too. I just don't see a place for it at this point in this layout. If I decide to use one of those sentiment cards, you know, I might be able to put something like up here. So we'll just have to wait and see if something pops out. I also wanted to show you real quick, and I'll show you again when I get this cut. But if you look at this sweet little birdie for springtime 2, I took a leaf from Tiny Nature, and it works really well to layer on there so that you can create a little wing for that bird, and it just gives it a little extra detail. I tend to put a little, you know, eye on the bird too, just to bring a little bit of life to that cute little bird. Okay, the borders I used are a layering border. So we've got Abbey Road, 3A and 3B, and I have it layered over Funky Frills. Okay, so that one's Funky Frills 4. I'm assuming this is Funky Frills 3. Great, it is. And so that's my basic layout. It allows me to use 3 4x6 photos and then 2 4x4s. So that makes me happy. I love to get at least 5 pictures on a 2-page layout. I often will go for even more. So my vision at this point is to use this really big, beautiful floral as the larger part. So I'm going to do this with the Abbey Road 3A and 3B, I'm thinking, because I just love that pop of floral. And popping out from behind it, I'm thinking this beautiful deep, deep green. Okay, so something coming up the page, kind of like that. That'll allow me to do some layering on top and use some of the complementary colors to do the bird and the butterfly and those flowers. So I am going to get busy doing some paper cutting, get my templates traced. I will pop on and show a quick tip with this Funky Frills if you haven't used it before. So keep an eye out for that and we'll get busy. All right, so what I want to show you about this Funky Frills is just a way to make sure that you're not using tons and tons of your paper, maybe more than you are planning to. Okay, let me make sure I've got the right one here. All right, so when you go to trace the Funky Frills, you need to keep in mind that it's only going to pop out, maybe a 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch above that border that layers on it. So if you trace this entire thing, you're going to use quite a lot of paper. So if you have watched very many of my videos, you know that I am a paper saver. Sometimes I wonder why, because I have quite the collection, but I don't like to waste paper. So I am going to go ahead and move that down. I would say it's easily 1.25 inches off the bottom of my paper. I'm going to trace those so that I'll be able to cut that. And I don't know that you can see it, but the pencil mark actually shows up just fine on this darker color. Okay. Now I can put this one close. I'm not going to do anything with that scrap, but I am going to go ahead and put it close so that I'm not wasting a lot. And then again, instead of what I would normally do with a border, where I would normally make like a notch right here so I could do a straight cut, I really want to think about where my piece is going to layer on it, okay, and how much of it I want to show, and then go ahead and mark it. So what I'm really looking at here is this low point to make sure that I don't go too short, but I am going to mark it maybe about there, and that'll be my spot on my straight trimmer. So rather than using that much paper, I was able to save, 2.5 inches by doing it this other way. So just something to think about as you're working with this particular border. All right, I have been busy. I hope you're ready to see this. I really, really like how these borders turned out. Look at that beautiful floral with the dark green behind it. This was what I was showing you about how to cut it. Okay, you see I really saved, I don't know, 1 inch on that piece or so, but that worked out really well and so pretty. So those are done. Let me grab the photo mats because I really like this. I used the solid piece that was part of the stack, and it really brings in this deeper pink. So I just like that touch. I don't know, it's just a nice deep color, really pretty. Kind of warms everything up. on that softer background. So there we are with those photo mats. And if you're not somebody who likes the little bit crisscross, this would be really easy to just do straight, which I often do. I am normally a very straight, perfectly lined up photo mat person, but in this big space, I just decided I liked it that way. Created that little bird like I talked about. So took that nature 1T template, so that's the tiny nature, and turned that upside down to create that wing, and I just trimmed off the part where the stem was. So there's that. And then I decided to go ahead and do this little banner in that deep green, just because I really liked that pop. And I'm thinking I'll probably layer it so it's kind of coming out over the photos. I don't know, I'm really torn about how exactly I want that piece to go. So we'll see what happens by the time I tape it down. And then for the big flower over here, I kept that same tone. Like I really wanted to bring this kind of burgundy color throughout. So I've got that for the big flower for the base. And I did add just a little bit of texture to this. So to give your flowers a little bit of lift, I just put a finger here, kind of like I'm doing a pie crust. So I put a finger here and then I pull up on the sides just to give it a little bit of a lift, a little bit of texture on the page. And even once it's in a page protector, it will hold that. Did the same thing on these. Okay. So I've got that kind of fun layered flower there. I did create a couple of leaves with the deep green using that tiny nature. So I'm thinking I'll probably just pop those out the top, maybe something like that. And let's see, all that's left is this butterfly. So this I'll definitely pop up on some foam tape. I'll do the same with the bird, but give that a little bit of dimension. And I think I want it up a little bit higher. So it's just touching this top photo, not this bottom one. You know, something like that. Be even more. All right, so something along those lines. And I am going to use, this is a liquid pearl product by Ranger. Don't ask me what color this is. It's almost a copper color. I thought that it would pull a little bit of this tone that's in this this paper, and I want to use this to do a couple of little accents, maybe for the butterfly, a couple of things on this flower, and then the bird's eye. So I will be bringing that in as well, just to add a little bit more interest to it. The other thing I was thinking about doing is possibly doodling kind of a flight line, just something up to this butterfly, just to create some fun there, and then maybe give the butterfly some antenna. So just a couple of finishing touches to go on this. I will post some pictures of it completed at the end. If you have watched this whole time, go ahead and leave me a comment. I will give it about a week, and then I'm going to go in and I'm going to do a drawing out of those comments for someone to win this springtime accessory set. So I've got one in my inventory that I would be happy to share with somebody. So if this layout spoke to you and you would be excited about using that set, drop me a comment and let me know. So thanks again for tuning in today, and I really appreciate the time we spent with me. I hope that the rest of your day is fabulous. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.